Welcome to Class Act, a game where your words have real power. In this world where standing by can mean standing against someone, we wanted to create an experience that lets players practice empathy and courage in everyday conversations. In real life, you hopefully don't encounter bullying every day, so it can be hard to know how to respond when you see someone else being mistreated. Class Act provides an opportunity to refine your ability to navigate bullying with empathy and confidence in a stress-free environment. Players listen to and interact with real-world scenarios in the classroom, on the playground, after school, and choose how to respond. Choices are graded through Google Gemini integration on how empathetic and helpful they are, and the player is given feedback to learn how to better support victims of bullying.
All right, so this is a quick demo of our game Class Act. So you can see that the first thing that you spawn into is a title screen with a name, play, and how to play. So how to play just gives you a quick intro on the steps to move around and stuff, and also our motto. So in this experience, you'll step into real-world situations where bullying can happen. Your mission is to learn how to recognize bullying and practice responding with empathy, and to always remember a small act of kindness can make a big difference. So we can exit out of that, and once we actually play the game, the first thing that you'll notice is to our side, there's basically a longer version of our motto, which you can take a look at if you want a better idea of what we stand for. So at the front of the classroom, there are two people, and if we come close enough, we can press E to listen to their conversation. So Anakin says, why do you even bother asking questions or answering questions? Obi-Wan says, I thought maybe I could get it right this time. Anakin says, you sound so dumb though, it's embarrassing. Obi-Wan said, I guess I should just stay quiet then. And Anakin says, good idea, save us all the pain. So clearly in this situation, Anakin is the antagonizer, and Obi-Wan is sort of the one being bullied. So you can see that when we walk close to them, we can press E to interact with them. And once we do that, it pulls up a chat log. So you can see that these are all the messages that have been sent between them. And basically what we get to do is we get to type out a response to each person. So this response gets fed into Google Gemini API, and that will basically provide us with a rating, some sort of score of our response, and tell us about things that we can improve in order to become more empathetic and how to respond better to this situation. So the first thing that we can say to Anakin is something like, don't say things like that, like treat others the way you want to be treated. So obviously this is good advice, but we can send it and we'll get a rating back from the system. So the system gave us a 6 out of 10. It says positive areas. The response directly addresses Anakin's bullying behavior, which we can tell because it says don't say things like that, but areas for improvement. The response lacks specific suggestions for how Anakin can improve his interactions with Obi-Wan. And this is true because we didn't really give any specifics. We just sort of gave like a more generic rule. So now let's say we go up to Obi-Wan. And this conversation we approach with a little bit less empathy. Maybe we're having a bad day, but basically we give him a response that isn't necessarily correct, like toughen up, Obi-Wan, don't cry, or something along those lines. So obviously this one is going to get a lower score. It got a 4 out of 10 from the system, and you can see the positive areas, the response is short and addresses the situation, not that much positive, and areas for improvement, the response is not helpful and lacks empathy, is dismissive, and could be interpreted as bullying. So you can sort of see how our system helps teach others to create better responses to these situations and learn more empathy. And from this feedback, we can craft a better response. So we're going to say, don't worry, Obi-Wan. You should always speak your mind. Let me know if you need any help with that. So once we send this, we can see that our score got way better. We got a 6 out of 10 this time. And positive areas, the response shows support for Obi-Wan. And of course, there are still areas of improvement. We didn't address Anakin's bullying behavior, which we can see in our message. And we could also offer more constructive advice to Obi-Wan for how to handle those situations. So yeah, you can see how these sorts of situations can help people learn how to become more empathetic. And now I'm sort of walking around and showing you different environments that we've created. So in order to create like a fully immersive experience, we developed a bunch of different environments, and this is sort of to help drill in the point that bullying can happen anywhere and anytime, and you should always be ready to respond to a bunch of different types of scenarios. So we felt this was the best way to illustrate it, that you have different environments and different people who can be in like rather different arguments. And yeah, sort of the goal is you go and navigate each situation uniquely, and figure out the best response, and in turn learn empathy and how to diffuse situations.
Empathy is a skill. Courage is a habit. Class Act takes both and turns it into a game, one where players learn, mess up, try again, and grow in a safe space. In a time where social skills are more important than ever, this isn't just a game, it's practice for real life.